to every week and just have some fun and have some joy and hear from people they love. And you are one of those people. So thank you for.
Aw, of course. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, since all of your fans tuned in, I have your questions. I'm going to be asking the most
Exciting.
popular fan questions I received towards the end of the interview. So guys, stick around for that. And if you're ready to rock, we have a lot to get to.
Let's rock and roll.
All
Let's
right,
rock
so
and roll.
first off, a huge congrats to you on an incredible run of your show, Chilling
Thank
Adventures of
you.
Sabrina. Of course, the final season dropped a few weeks ago at the end of December, and man, the fans are going crazy over this. So, how are you feeling since this last season was put out into the universe?
I'm feeling good. We wrapped the show about a year ago, and the world felt like it changed rapidly after we wrapped, and to sort of have this, really odd year of everyone's existence, and then at the end of it have the show come out. It kind of felt cathartic. It felt like some sort of closure. I'm just happy that everyone finally got to see it, because it felt like so long after we filmed it to when it actually aired. And it's always just really nice to see fan reactions. And I know it was sort of a controversial ending, but the passion that people sort of had for the ending, whether they liked it or not, loved it, were upset by it, whatever that may be, just to see that people care about the show as much as they do was really heartwarming, and a nice way to go into 2021.
Oh, I bet. And you have so much to be proud of. But I want to take it
Thank
back right
you.
now. I'm always
Let's take it back.
I'm fascinated by how it all began, right? So,
Hmm.
how did the opportunity to play Sabrina come up for you? What was that audition like? Did you read for other roles, or were you always considered
Hmm.
for Sabrina? Like, give me the full scoop behind it
Sure.
all.
So the funny thing is that it all happened within a week.
1 week?
1 week, which was a really crazy week of my life, because I was minding my own business, reading scripts here and there, auditioning for things here and there, and then I get a call that says, "Hey, they're rebooting Sabrina, and they're really interested in you for it. Do you want to meet with Roberto tomorrow?" Okay, sure. I would love to. So they sent me the script right away. I met with Roberto, and then I had 2 screen tests within the course of a week. I was told there was going to be 1 screen test. My hair was brunette at the time. I did the screen test, and I called my manager after and said, "Hey, there's no possible way that I would have to do another screen test, right? Because I have plans to go to New York tomorrow. I'm visiting friends for the week." And they're like, "No, no, no, that was it. That's absolutely it. You're good, Kiernan. Go to New York. Have fun. Like, get your mind off of this." Great. Okay. So I fly to New York. I not even left JFK before I get a call that's like, "So sorry about this, but we do need you back, and we need you to
No.
do another screen test with blonde hair." So
Uh,
so they tried a bunch of wigs on me, and the wigs were kind of not looking as good as I sort of wanted them to, and I just said, "You know what, screw it. I'm just gonna dye my hair blonde tonight and do the screen test tomorrow." So I called up my hair guy, who really came through for me last
wow.
minute, went from like dark brown hair to platinum blonde hair overnight, did another screen test, waited maybe 2 or 3 days that felt like an eternity, and then got a call while I was at the orthopedist, actually, at the doctor. And my hip pain went away right away. They said, "Hey, you got the part." And I just, but that was all within the course of a week. And
Wow.
then, yeah, life flipped upside down after that,
Oh
considerably.
my gosh. Yeah, I'm ssure you'll never forget that. Wow. I love stories like that because it really shows how in an instant, like everything can change, right?
Hmm.
Which is so amazing.
Yeah,
Now,
and I was kind of feeling a little disheartened and down in the dumps before that too. I sort of just wasn't really feeling like I was reading scripts that I was responding to, and I was like kind of going through this mini existential professional crisis. And then, something happens and changes, and then it's 2.5 years later, here I am talking to Tommy DiDario on an Instagram live about the finale.
oh
So
my God, how lucky am I? That's amazing.
how
So,
lucky am I?
oh, please, please, you're debuting your new nails. I mean, I get like the exclusive.
It is true. You do get the nail exclusive, which I've already managed to mess up a little bit because I bumped my head so much and I've whacked the table like twice.
Let me ask you, when you walked onto set that very first day, did you know you were about to become part of something that would be so epic it would acquire massive worldwide fandom? Or when was that moment when you realized, oh wow, this has a really special effect like on the world?
Yeah, it definitely was. It was when I first landed in Vancouver and went to set for the first time and saw all of the sets and what they were building. And if you've seen the show, you know that the sets are absolutely
Epic.
glorious and epic, and there's a lot of them. And I remember walking through all of them, seeing them be built, going to the Spellman house, and sort of thinking, "Whoa, like this is all for us. Like we're really doing this." And that I think was definitely one key moment that sort of made me realize that this was going to be something big. And then I feel like subsequent moments that are sort of similar to that sort of happened throughout filming, and then it came out and people responded to it. But yes, it was sort of an initial hit and then kind of another slow build of
Yeah.
just realization that it was going to be something major.
Oh my God, I'm like excited for you hearing that and hearing you relive that all over again.
I
That's
know,
just
I kind of wish I could go back into my 18-year-old self and walk through those sets for the first time.
Yeah, that must have been a great moment. And
It
your
was.
character, my gosh, like your character obviously is
My gal.
what a gal. She went through quite a lot. To say she
Yeah,
lived a hectic life would be putting it very mildly, right? And whether
very.
she was battling whatever fight she was fighting to protect her family, she went through it all, and her loved ones, of course. So, what were some of your favorite parts about getting to play such an epic character?
I think my favorite part and the part that I'll sort of cherish most, and it's a reason why I really love TV and I've always had such an affinity for television, is that the character grew so much throughout the seasons or the parts. She started off so wide-eyed and innocent and young, and you just sort of saw her go through so much and kind of rise above it all. And to be able to play that and play a character that just sort of transforms was so fun because I was never bored and I felt like she was always growing up and she was always changing. And to watch the first episode and compare it to the last episode, she's almost a different girl. I mean, she's got the same spirit and the same heart. She's still Sabrina, but my gosh, in 1 year, her entire world changed. And to be able to play that and to play someone that really grew into their power so much as a young woman was really special to me. And then obviously all the stuff she got to do was super cool too. I mean, to turn into a total badass is no, you're not going to hear any complaints from me. I think that was
And I love that you've called her before, like she's a woke witch.
She is. Yeah, she's very of the times, which I love.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a great
Yeah.
role. And so many of the fans wrote to me saying how much they enjoyed your love triangles on the show, of course,
Yes.
right? That was a big piece of it, of course, with Harvey and Nicholas and all the ship names that came with it, Nabrina. So what was it like working with the guys, and were you happy with how your love story kind of unfolded towards this final season?
Yeah, I love those guys so much. I did so many chemistry reads with Ross, and the Harvey and Sabrina relationship to me is just one of my favorite parts of the entire show, to be quite honest. And like most, I think that Sabrina and Nick are sort of bound to be together, and I think that that might be the ship that is obviously the most loved and has the most impassioned of fans behind it. But the Harvey and Sabrina relationship is still, I think, such a special thing throughout the season, romantic or not. I think that that's sort of the beautiful thing too, is that even after Sabrina and Harvey broke up, their relationship was still so strong and so beautiful. So I really appreciate that that they were able to do that in the show. And then you have someone like Caliban, who's super fun and sexy and made of clay and kind of, you know, has his moment on the show as well. And I think it's fun. I think it's a really fun part of the show, and I think that all the Sabrina ships really do kind of serve a different purpose and have different elements of like fun and romantic and sexy and all that kind of stuff that I really think that they're all very necessary to the story.
Yeah,
And fun
100%.
for me to play. I mean, they're all such cute guys. I can't complain either. I mean,
I was gonna say, I'm sure you weren't
great.
crying
It's pretty
that you had to kiss so many of them, you know?
I mean, you know, it's really stressful job. Really, really high stakes always.
Good for you. And of course, a lot of fans too were so shocked when it was revealed who your father was on the show. Of course,
Yeah.
the Dark One, Lucifer, right? So, what was that revelation like to you? Did you know that was coming, or did they keep you in the dark? Like, how did that all happen for you?
I was definitely kept in the dark. I didn't know. I didn't know at all. And then this, you know, handsome Australian guy shows up on set, and that's apparently my father. Yeah, I was definitely surprised, and obviously it makes a lot of sense. And I think that it's an essential plot point. And Luke Cook, who plays the Dark Lord, is one of my favorite humans ever. But yes, I was definitely initially surprised.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, Luke's awesome, by the way. He came on the
Oh,
show
Luke
too.
is the best.
We had so much fun. He's like the funniest human being ever.
I love him so much. I love him so much.
Yeah, it seems, I mean, the whole cast, it seems like you guys really are a family unit. You all got along so well. How was it working with everyone and the dynamics on set?
It was amazing. It was like a never-ending summer camp is how I always refer to it, because the hours were long and we got so delirious together, and we all had good days and bad days, and we were always there for each other. And, you know, it's hard to kind of not become a family, and you get really lucky when your family is as awesome as that cast.
Yeah, well, it really shows too. It shows that you guys, I always believe when you watch a show, you can tell if the dynamics really are good.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of people felt that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. We had as much fun on set as we did off set.
Rock on. I love that. Now, 4 incredible seasons. You've had so many epic scenes and moments for your character. What are some that stand out to you that you'll just never forget and that were so fun for you to film?
Oh my God, there are so many. I think the first time that Sabrina conjures hellfire is really fun. Just the fact that, yeah, that's really, I think, a moment that sort of shifts everything in her world. She takes on this new sense of power that we haven't seen before in her, and I think that everything beyond that point completely sort of shifts. So that was a huge moment. It was also just so epic, you know, to be up on wires and her eyes go all white. I was quite literally in like contacts. I couldn't see anything. I was up on wires all day. So it was a super interesting day for me as well. But I do think kind of as a whole, it's a big moment. And then another moment that I think is huge is just when Sabrina decides to just go ahead and duplicate herself, and you see her talking to herself, deciding that they're basically gonna just seeing Sabrina save the world is epic to me, and seeing her decide after the fact that she wants to just kind of live this double life is like such a teenager decision to make, in my opinion, which is so, I think it's so funny that she goes from quite literally saving the entire world to making like such a like young decision. And there's something about it that I think really balances the fact that she's mature but also extremely young and youthful at the same time. Like, it's easy to forget that Sabrina's 16 years old or 17, depending on what episode you're watching. But I love being reminded that she is. I love that she's still a teenager. So seeing those moments kind of juxtaposed, I think, is a really, really fun one. And then the second to last episode with the alternate universe and the original ants is probably like my favorite thing we've ever done.
Oh my God, there's so many good episodes and moments, and how much fun. My gosh, you must have had, I mean, a lot of work. You put in the work, because this was like years.
We did work.
Yeah.
We did it.
Like, let's be clear, you put in the work, but man, what the final product was, that's why the fandom is so big. And They just really gravitated towards the show in such a big way. So much so that I received a ton of DMs saying that there are all these online petitions circulating, trying to bring you back for more seasons. And one has almost 350,000 signatures. They're committed. So what is it about the show do you think attracts such a passionate fan base?
I really have to attribute a lot of it to the cast that just plays these roles in such a lovable way. Like, Chance and Lucy and Miranda and Tati and Richard and Michelle, and I could just literally name every single person in the cast that really just takes on their roles with like such a unique energy that just makes them so lovable and so personable. And then it goes beyond that to the writer's room and Roberto that just kind of have created a universe that's just out there and escape and like serves as some kind of escape from reality, but also is like deeply personal and relatable. And I think that the fact that, everyone in that show can kind of walk that line between it being completely fantastical and also just grounded and something that you feel like you can really grasp is, it's a testament to literally everyone involved with the show. It's just loaded with talent. And I think that's probably the main reason why people love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe they all just watch it for Gavin. I don't know. That's a valid reason too. I would not blame a person for doing that.
Gavin's bringing the viewers, you think, huh?
Yeah, I think he is.
That's amazing.
I think Lucy Davis is probably bringing in a lot of viewers too.
Well, you all are. Let's be real. Like you said, you all are a superstar cast, and that's why people are so invested in it and touching on those real life human issues in a so not human world. And also, I love the representation of the show. I think everybody can connect with somebody and see themselves on screen, which is great.
Yeah, it's really wonderful to be a part of something that feels like it's doing good and is a positive energy. And I love the idea of kids watching the show and feeling like they can see themselves in a character. I think that's an extremely important thing to do in art, and I think I'm very lucky to be a part of a show that does it so well.
Yeah, 100%. Now let's talk about your last scene. What was the final scene you shot for the show? And when they yelled, "Cut, that's a wrap," what was that moment like for you?
Gosh, I almost forgot. So we actually shot the penultimate episode as the last episode. It was just a scheduling thing. And my last scene was with Ross, which is just kind of, I feel like for some reason my first sort of chemistry reads were all with Ross, so it felt so like full circle to be doing the last scene of the show with him too. Like he's such an OG to me, so it was so lovely. And it was a scene where Harvey was showing Sabrina Morningstar an episode of Sabrina in the alternate universe, and what they were playing on the TV was a scene from the first episode of the show. So I was being hit with all sorts of emotions just because it really felt like the most full circle possible way to go out. And it was semi-late. It was probably like 1 a.m. by the time we wrapped. And I don't know. It's a weird thing when you film something for such a long time and then all of a sudden it's over. They don't really prep you for that. And I think there were lingering emotions for quite some time after. Initially, you've worked for 10 months and you're tired and you're excited to go home and sleep in your own bed. But I just found so much, I was just missing it so much the next month. And then being in a wrapping and then about 2 weeks later going into a full lockdown was not helpful for, or maybe it was for sitting with my emotions. But I had a lot of time to, so I got quite reflective on the whole experience. But yeah, when we wrapped, I think I was just sort of like I didn't even know how I felt.
Yeah.
I just sort of went through emotions.
Well, I imagine it takes time to kind of come down from all of that, right? Like
yeah, definitely.
You have to process kind of almost like letting someone go, right?
Yeah, there's a mourning period. Absolutely. I went through the same thing with Mad Men too. I don't even want to say more intensely, but I was on Mad Men for like 10 years versus 2.5. So I felt like I almost knew the ropes as to how I was going to feel and how letting a character go after a really long time feels. And there's no shortcut. It's sometimes not easy, but I knew the way,
Yeah, yeah.
if that makes sense.
Totally, totally. What do you think the legacy of the show will be?
Oh my goodness. I hope that the legacy of the show is that leading with your heart and standing up for what you believe in is the right thing to do. I would hope. And I hope that it inspires a lot of people to just sort of chase after what they want and be the best version of themselves and come into their own power however they see fit. I think I would like that to be the legacy.
Yeah, something that we
Yeah.
all have to remember. I like that. I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Rock on. Okay, a lot of fan questions. Let me get to them.
Ooh.
Now, these were the most popular fan questions I received.
Okay.
So I kind of put them all together. And the first one, the number one I got was, you said you would reprise your role in some way, shape, or form. What would your dream way be to reprise that role? And part B, and if I don't ask this, your fans are going to come for me, is there any truth to this rumor about HBO Max maybe doing something with the show? Have you heard anything? Give me the scoop.
Okay, so here's the tea. Here is the tea. To answer the latter first, you've got it. You've got it. I've got nail polish. I don't. I know nothing about the latter. I really don't. I really haven't heard anything. So that's that. As far as reprising the role, yes, of course I would love to. I feel like I feel like Sabrina could definitely make it back if she wanted to. Like, she's very smart, and I feel like she'd spend like a little bit of time in the Sweet Hereafter and then get kind of bored and start missing her friends. So I think that's possible. I don't know. She's never been to Riverdale, and I would still like to go. I would like to check it out, so that's a possibility. There's multiple possibilities, but you know, I'm definitely open to the idea of visiting her again. I don't know how that will manifest. I really don't. And if I did, I would probably not tell you. But but I can actually say with truth, 100%. I have no idea how it will come to be. But if it does, you know, you can count me in. I will still be playing her.
Amazing. You just made a lot of people very happy. And with Riverdale too, I know you guys filmed in the same area, and you're friendly with a lot of the people in the show.
Yeah, there are a sister show. So they filmed down the block from us.
Well, you never know. Crossover might have to happen.
I know. Even if I'm just walking in the background, like, I don't need to do anything. I would love to just
no. We're writing you a better part than that. You're not just
make me an extra. I'll just be a waiter or something at Pops.
All right, you never know. Put it out there.
Put it out there.
Okay.
It has been put out there.
Good. We
put the energy into the universe.
Yes. The next most popular question. A lot of musical moments on this show. What were your personal favorite?
Okay. So I think my favorite, oh God, I have a few, but I think my favorite musical moment, or like the one that I have the most positive memories around, is Masquerade, just because it was such an ordeal to film. It took 2 days. It was pretty much the last 2 days of filming for the first season. And there's something it was a 9-month haul, and it was the first time that I ever done that. So like, to be completing the first 2 parts was kind of epic. So kind of riding on the tails of that, and also doing, you know, a 2-day musical number with the whole cast where we're in these like massive outfits. Very, very fond memories. Loved it. First time I was really working with Luke. Big production.
Yeah.
Absolutely one of my faves. As far as this current part goes, or the 4th part, I think that Total Eclipse of the Heart was my favorite to sing. It was very emotional and sort of scaled back, and I really liked that. It was just a late night. I have good memories around filming it. And then Sweet Child of Mine. Like, who doesn't want to have a rock concert? That's the fun part about the job, too, is that sometimes you find yourself doing, you know, one-on-one scenes with people, and then other times you quite literally find yourself, you know, in a giant faux fur teal vest performing Sweet Child of Mine in front of the gates of hell.
As one should.
As one should, and I just never got bored. So those are probably my favorites.
I love that. Sweet Child of Mine, by the way, quick aside, that was the song that my husband and I cut our wedding cake to.
No way. Oh, that's epic.
We wanted a rock star moment.
As you should. As you should. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I like that song. I like that that's a favorite for you. A lot of questions about anything you took from set that you haven't revealed.
No, because I didn't know if it was over or not. So I left everything there to be nice.
So you don't have anything?
I have nothing.
Why?
I have nothing. I see, and I've been asked that a few times lately, and now I'm like very tempted to email someone and see if there's any stragglers left behind that they could just send to me. Like, I would like some more memorabilia, but at the current moment, I do not have any.
All right. Well, we'll have to work on it.
Just a canon of memories. That's all. And that's more than enough.
Oh, that's very sweet. But we're gonna work on getting you something.
But honestly, I need more things.
And then the other really big question I got a lot of is, what's a fun behind the scenes secret from the set?
Ooh. Well, it's probably kind of common knowledge, but I do find it really funny. And this probably goes for most films and TV, but I do find it really funny that, like, if you're watching a scene and you're not seeing the actor's feet, they're definitely wearing Uggs. Like, they're definitely wearing Uggs or, like, a slipper of some sort. And it's just a very funny visual to have, I think, when you're watching certain dramatic scenes. And then you're like, oh, they're definitely wearing their, like, cast slides right now. I'm trying to think of other really funny things. We did so many different pranks, and we've had like it was just like nonstop fun the entire time. Yeah. Those are probably my tidbits. Nothing else is coming to mind, but I'm sure the second that this ends, I'll be like, oh my god, there's like that and that and this and that. Another thing that's probably common knowledge is that I'm like very allergic to that cat, which is why Salem is always a million feet away from me. Or why I like ask him a question and then it cuts to just a shot of him is because I like could not be in the room. You know, the little things.
Yeah, you know, well, your health matters, so glad you're nice and healthy.
Exactly.
Very, very cool. And then the last fan question is, and I thought this was a really cool question. When you split yourself in two, did you connect with one version more than the other?
That's a really good question. I love that question. So I think when Sabrina split herself into two, Sabrina Spellman to me was like the intact Sabrina that I had been playing all the time.
Right.
And then Morningstar was the other one. So it felt like I was playing one new character versus two new characters. And I do think at the end of the day, I'll always connect with Sabrina Spellman more, just because, you know, she's got like at least a little bit of human, like a little bit of, like I'm a very mortal person, and you know, she's got a little touch of that. So I think generally speaking, I connect with her more. But I don't want to say more because I hate picking or choosing, but I do think that I had a lot of fun, maybe more fun, with Sabrina Morningstar the last season, just because it was something new and she was sort of like the feisty alternative version of Sabrina. And I thought that there was something so like delicious and fun to lean into with that. So relatability wise, Spellman, but fun wise, I would say Morningstar maybe takes the cake by just a little bit. Okay. She's a little spicier.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
Very, very fun. Okay, yeah. Amazing.
I liked her reckless nature.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm sure that's so much fun to play too.
Yeah.
Incredible. Were you happy like I don't know what I should say about the ending or what I shouldn't say in case people haven't watched it, so I'm gonna be a little vague. But
Nice.
I know there's a lot of different opinions. Were you happy with how the storyline wrapped up for you?
Um, it's hard to say. Like I genuinely think that it really showed how selfless of a character Sabrina was the entire series, and I thought that it was very epic, and it felt it made me feel a lot of things, which I think is what a finale is supposed to do. It certainly didn't make me feel all happy, joyous things, but I do think that it was epic, and I think it was the right ending. Obviously there's like a complex nature to it, but I think the sentiment of Sabrina choosing all the ones she loves over herself is very powerful and meaningful, and definitely aligns with kind of her character throughout the entire series. So it made sense to me, and it made me feel all the things, which, like I said, I think that's the goal.
And by the way, very job well done by describing that without giving away too much. That wasn't easy.
Thank you. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
I could have dropped a few bombs there,
Yeah.
but I did not. So I will spend the rest of my day proud of myself.
I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
And before I let you go, this is a question I ask for people in this interview series who I think would genuinely appreciate it. And you're giving me that vibe, so I'm going to ask you it.
Cool.
What is something that you wish you had told your younger self? A great piece of advice that you wish you knew earlier in life. So many people look up to you, and I think they would find this really valuable.
I think, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot recently, is that there are no steps backward. Like, I think that even if something feels horrible in the moment, it's still going to inform your future, possibly in a positive way. So I think I would have told myself to kind of just chill out a little bit and enjoy the ride the highs, ride the lows, and not try to fix all of the lows. I think that I would have liked to have just given myself more peace of mind. I definitely tend to err on the side of stressing out and worrying about absolutely everything. And so when it comes to probably my 14, 15, 16-year-old self, I think I would have just told her to just relax and just, taken all the moments, because it'll all be good.
You know what? Something we all should remember, no matter how old we are, that's something that is a great constant reminder in everyday life, and I love that you just put that out there. Love it.
I think so. I think I need to hear it equally, like, right now, too.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm perfect in that regard at all, but I do feel like the reminder is at least a little more drilled in my head these days than it was.
Beautiful. I love that so much. And lastly, to all of your fans who have stood by your side, cheering you on, rooting you on, are dedicated Kiernan fans and are with you forever for the rest of your amazing ride.
Oh,
what do you want to say to them who are here today?
If I could say thank you 1,000 times, I would. Thank you is the bare minimum to all the Sabrina fans that have quite literally kept this show afloat and made it what it is. We made the show for fans, and the fact that people responded to it is just overwhelming and wonderful. And every day, every time I log on to this app and I see a bunch of people from around the world enthusing about the show, it truly warms my heart. So it's just, if I could give everyone a COVID safe hug, I would. Like, just the biggest of thank yous, pretty much.
Oh, that was beautiful. And I know your fans are saying thank you right back to you.
Aw, so sweet.
You were so much fun. I could talk to you for days.
I know. We should do this more often.
I know. Thank you for joining the show. I hope the next interview will be in person, of course. So
yes,
let's hope for that. But I think
put it out there.
It's out there. It is so out there.
Good vibes, good energy.
But you are such a bright light. You have such an exciting, you've done so much already, my God, that you should be so proud of. And you have such an exciting road ahead of you. And I will certainly be following your journey and Nothing but best wishes your way.
Thank you so much, Tommy. This was so fun.
Yes, of course, of course. Thank you. Be safe, be well, and until we meet again.
Until we meet again, indeed. All right. Bye, my friends.
Take care.
Bye.